Hi, this is Christine. It is September 2nd, 2014. It's in the morning. And I want to share a dream I had last night. First of all, in Anna's video today, she's talking about the colors of the rainbow. And actually, this is true. You know, the white light, if you break it down, it is in the spectrum of a rainbow. But it shows up as white light. So she's talking about the colors of the rainbow today and how when, they're separated, the colors are separated, they're darkness, and when they're together, they become the prism, which is white light. And you don't want to see colors separately, you want to see them together, because all the rainbow colors together, they do make white light. I mean, science even, we learned that in science class, so I'm not going to go into that. The dream I had last night, I was in my car, and for some reason I was driving up this road that was up the street from the university I used to go to. I had parked my car on the side of the road because for some reason I couldn't find parking nearer to the building. So I decided I'm not even going to try to look for parking up there. I'll just park a little bit farther up on the, on the road, on the side of the road, where there's side of the road parking, and then I'll walk to the building, to the university, which I did. Got out of the car, across the road, and I started heading back towards the university, walking on the sidewalk. When I got to the university, okay, this dream is going to be all mixed up. When I got to the university, I ended up in the band room of my high school. And I was in band in high school. I picked up the clarinet. I started learning the clarinet in 5th grade. And then I started learning the bassoon in 8th grade because they needed somebody for, they needed a woodwind for concert band. And then in high school I ended up picking up the saxophone. So I played clarinet, saxophone, and bassoon. And I also play some Native American flute, which I just started learning myself back, like 10, 15 years ago, something like that. I liked it, so I picked it up. I got one and I started trying to teach myself. And it's a lot like a clarinet, except you don't have the side keys. But anyway, I was in band in high school, and for some reason when I walked back to the university, I was in my old high school band room. And I remember sometimes at lunch, we had jazz band. There was, when you walked into the band room, on the left hand side was the conductor's office, and then there was also a waiting area, like with a table, and you could sit there and people would talk, and you could eat your lunch if you wanted to. It wasn't a big room. And then to the right of that is where all the instruments were kept, if you wanted to keep your instrument in there. And then if you walked straight through, that was the band room, and that's where we did all of our practicing. Well, we had jazz band, and this one day in my dream, I had walked into the band room, and I turned left, and I went to the conductor's office, and it was a library. It was a big library full of books. So I got this one book because I was there to do studying and research, and I opened up this book, and there was a wreath. I'm a lousy artist, so I'm not even going to try to attempt this. Everybody knows what a wreath looks like, a Christmas wreath. There was a wreath on the page in this book, but the wreath had a white circle in the middle, where it's open, the open hole part, and then the outside part where you would normally have the red and green for the Christmas leaves, it wasn't red and green. It was white in the background, and it had pastel colored rainbow colors on it, like pastel pink, pastel purple, pastel light blue, pastel yellow, pastel green, like the lime green. It had all these rainbow colors, but they were pastel, and they were sprinkled on the wreath like sprinkles that you would sprinkle on top of cupcakes when you're making birthday cupcakes or something. It was that kind of colored sprinkles, and they were all over. And in the middle, alright, maybe I will try to draw this. Here goes. Okay, here's the wreath, and here's all the different colored pastel sprinkles. In the center, it said either Crest Wreath or Wreath Crest. But that was the word that was in the middle. And I didn't quite understand it, but I saw it. I saw the words in the middle. I think they might have even been like a pretty cursive type style. But I ended up leaving the band room. And then I ended up in some like lounge where there was like a waiting room lounge where there was a couch, and there was a girl in there, and I knew her, and I knew her name, her first and last name, but I'm not gonna say her name on this video, but I just know her. And I went to elementary school with her. I have not spoken with her since. We were not really good friends growing up. She was more of a tomboy, and I was more quiet and shy. So, you know, I was more introverted, and she was more athletic. So she and we didn't really have much in common. But I knew her, you know, because I had gone to elementary school with her, so I knew who she was. And for some reason, the girl standing in front of me was not her. It might have even been me in my younger years. Oh my gosh. But I knew her by her name. Like when I looked at her, I knew it was her name, but the person did not look like her. Okay, I just knew her name. Anyway, she was standing in front of me, and she had this white dress on. It was like a girl's dress, just, you know, like a white stretchy material, and it had, again, rainbow colored polka dots on it, and they weren't fluorescent colors, but they weren't bold colors, and they weren't really pastel. They were just rainbow colored polka dots all over her dress. Her dress was kind of short. I mean, she had the top part on, then there was an elastic around her waist, and then the bottom part of the dress was between you know, like it was midway above her knee. So it was kind of like a mini skirt. It wasn't really long. And then she had black tights on underneath and black shoes on. And she asked me, you know, how she looked. And I looked at her, and at first I didn't say anything. I thought the dress was pretty, you know, with the rainbow colored polka dots on it. Oh my gosh, I just remembered something. When I was a teenager, I did have a dress like that. I've got a picture of me standing with my younger sister in the driveway at my my parents' house. I just remember I do have a dress like that, and I used to wear it in my teenage years. Oh my goodness. Okay, so she asked me, you know, how she looked like, and I thought the dress was pretty, but I thought that the black tights and the black shoes were very dark, and it was, you know, a complete contrast to a white dress with polka dot rainbow colors on it. They're just totally opposite. So I looked to the right of me, and there was a stack. Now I was looking at some kind of store, like a denim store, like jeans, Levi jeans type thing, and I saw a pair of jeans to the right of me. They were folded, and there was a whole stack of them on the table, like when you go to Sam's Club or something like that, and they have a whole bunch of jeans laid out on this huge table. That's what it looked like. But there was one pair of jeans on top, and it said 5'3", 53. So I don't know if that was the waist size, but it just said 53. And I didn't know if that meant anything either. But then I turned from looking at the jeans that were folded on the table with the other new jeans, and I looked to my left, and all of a sudden her bottom half started turning into a pair of jeans. Only when she turned a little bit to the side, I saw that there was no gap in the middle of her legs. You know, like when you wear jeans, there, you know, you have a space in between for your legs, between your two legs. And I noticed it was just one solid piece, and then I realized that the jeans that she had on was actually a long jean skirt, a long denim skirt. And then I started seeing these pockets appearing on this denim skirt, and they were pockets that had flaps on them, and they had locks on them, and like gold locks and gold snaps on them, and all these pockets where you could put things in your skirt if you wanted to, but they had like golden latches, you know, or snaps to them, or clips to them to close the pockets so you don't lose your things. And then she went and sat on the couch, and I was standing behind the couch, and she sat in front of the couch. But for some reason, her dress and her black tights were back. I mean, the white dress never went away. The denim skirt just was underneath the white dress. But for some reason, I think she went back to, like when she was on the couch, she was back to the black tights. And she said she was really excited because she had a date. And I said, oh, well, you know, where did you meet him? And she said he had a party down in the basement. And that's where I guess she had met him. He had come to work one day, and she met him. And apparently she was going to meet him again, so she was really excited. And then she got up from the couch and started walking downstairs towards the basement again, where I guess the party was going to be, or the date was going to be. But and then I woke up after that, after she started going downstairs. But while I was standing with her, I didn't see myself, but I knew that I was wearing a dress also, and it was like a cream colored dress, and actually it was the dress that I wore for my confirmation. You go through catechism in 7th grade, and then you quote graduate, you know, you have to go before the church, and then 8th grade you go through confirmation, and then you again quote graduate. So when we went through confirmation, I had a dress in 8th grade, and it was like a cream colored dress. It was a v-neck, and it was totally plain. There was no design on it or anything like that. And then the top part had spaghetti straps, and then you had the elastic around the waist, and then the skirt went down to a little bit above my knee, and it was all cream, and it was all one color. And then on top I had this sheer, I don't want to call it a veil, but it was like a sheer see-through material that was on top of the dress, and it covered, you know, the solid part of my top, and actually the sheer part went to the neckline. So even though the dress underneath had a v-neck, the top went all the way up to my neck. The sheer part went all the way up to my neck, and then the sleeves were also the sheer part, so you could see my arms through the sheer material. And then the sheer material also went over my skirt at the bottom. And I know that there are dresses like that today. I've seen them, or skirts like that, but you know, where you have the solid dress underneath, and then it's like a sheer see-through material on top. And on the top part, like my chest area, there was a big butterfly. And this is my real dress, actually, that I wore for confirmation in 8th grade. And I was wearing it in this dream when I was talking to this girl, you know, who had the rainbow polka dot dress on. the butterfly that I had on my dress that I was wearing in this dream, and I didn't actually see myself, but I just sort of knew that I was wearing it. The butterfly was pastel colored, rainbow colors too. It had pastel light blue, pastel light purple, like a lilac, pastel yellow, pastel green, and they were different colors, and then there were also sparkly gems on the butterfly, and it was like over the middle to the right side of my chest is where it was, and it was attached, like appliqued on, or sewn onto the sheer part of the outside of my dress. But it was pastel rainbow colors is what that butterfly was made of. Like maybe it had blue wings, or like a green body, or yellow or something like that, but it was all pastel rainbow colors is what that butterfly looked like that was on my dress, and I was wearing that dress in my dream last night. So anyway, there's one other thing too, and I don't know if this means anything, but the dream that I had, this is what I had last night. The dream I had the night before, God kept telling me Frodo, Frodo, in my dream. And I don't know if I was Frodo or what it was, but I woke up with the word Frodo in my head, and I was like, okay, I have to look this up. What is Frodo? And then I remembered Lord of the Rings. I had never seen that movie. I was never interested in it, but about, I don't know, 2 years ago or something like that, I did watch it. And that's when I woke up, with the name Frodo in my head, and I decided I better go look it up. So I did go look it up today. And he is a character from the Lord of the Rings. I don't know how that ties in or if it means anything, but I just thought I'd share this, especially since Anna was talking about rainbow colors again. And when all the rainbow colors are together in a prism, you see white light. So, okay. Don't know if this means anything. I just thought I'd share. Have a great day, everyone, and God bless. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, I forgot. One other thing. I did look up Crest Wreath, or Wreath Crest, this morning also. I got started working and God reminded me to go look that up. A crest is a coat of arms. It's a family name, I guess. I don't know. It's part of the shield, and we seem to be learning about our armor lately through both Anna's and Lively's videos. It's like God is putting our armor on us. Lively was talking about our belt of truth. Anna's talking about becoming the man of steel, iron. We're getting our coat of arms, our armor. And I don't know. I looked that up, and that's what Crest was. It's your coat of arms, your shield. It's the family name, sort of. So I just thought I'd share that too. Okay. Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye.